Good evening and welcome. Welcome to another broadcast of In This Space. I am your host, vision coach, and your healing mentor, Apostle Dr. Alicia George. And I am going to make sure tonight that we are going to be in a good place with technology. So I just want to check one thing before I begin. So why don't you go ahead and share? Why don't you go ahead and invite someone to come on in this space with me and view the show as I get ready to have a special time tonight with my guests. I am excited. And guess what? Let me do this because I have two shows tonight. Two shows back to back. Can you believe it? It's gonna be time for some energy, but I'm gonna have it. So listen, go ahead and invite someone in tonight. Let them know it's gonna be a double broadcast tonight. We're starting right now with our first broadcast. Anything can happen in this space. And the one thing that we want to happen is that we want God to be in this space with us. And so tonight, I want you to know that your voice belongs here. So if there's something that you would like to talk about, if you have a book, if you're an author, if you're an entrepreneur, if you have something coming up, if there is something that you would like to share with my audience, just inbox me, DM me, let's talk, and let's see when we can schedule you to come on in this space. Tonight, I'm super excited because I have someone with me that is very, very special to me. Actually, she happens to be my book coach. And tonight, I want to bring her on so that we can have a conversation. What are y'all drinking? I'm drinking the same thing I had last week, hibiscus tea. I'm finding that I really love it enough to continue to drink it 2 weeks in a row. So you go get something and come and sit in this space with me as we get started tonight. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring my guests up tonight. Here we go. Hey, Prophet.
Hello.
How you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. I'm so grateful to be here.
Girl, I am so excited that once again you said yes to me because I'm always pulling on you for something. Always, and you always and you always follow through. Let me just
Oh,
adjust
thank
one
you.
thing here, my volume, and then we are going to get into this. Hey, everybody, once again, share it out, show love and support. Share by showing love and support to this broadcast. As you know, I've
Yes.
transitioned from around the table to in this space. And so, in this space, anything can happen because God is going to surely be in the midst. So,
Yeah.
this evening, listen, I have been playing with gadgets and learning so many different things about improving this broadcast. And the one thing that I discovered that I love right now is that there's actually a teleprompter that I can use. So I don't have to have papers and notes anymore. I actually put my notes
Yes.
in the teleprompter and I am able to just follow through. So let's get started tonight. Let's get
Yes.
started tonight. If you want to ask any questions, put them in the chat, the comments. I will go in the comments and I will look at them. Let's see what's happening over here on Facebook, on my Facebook page. Let's see what's happening on YouTube, on my YouTube page. And we are excited to be here. So listen, this is Prophet Simone. I was going to say Young Williams.
Yes.
This is Prophet Simone Williams.
Yes.
And so thank you for being here. Good night, good night, good night. Listen, I don't do bios, but I just want you to just give them a little slitter about you and who you are. That's all I want you to do. Just a little slitter, tease them a bit.
Well, I am Prophetess Simone Williams or Simone Young. Either one is good. I am the founder of Young at Heart Publishing. So I do have a publishing company where I do publish Kingdom books, and that is my assignment.
Amen.
And so I publish. I love to. I coach, like she said, book coach. I'm a publishing strategist as well. So if you have a project, some people actually kind of know how to do their own things, but they need a strategy behind it. So I'll whip up something for that end as well. In ministry, a mother, grandmother, I wear so many hats.
Yes, you
A
do.
wife, so a lot of hats. So, and I'm just grateful that God has graced me with the different hats that I wear.
Yes, and you wear them very, very well. So
Thank
let's
you.
get into knowing you and what you're actually up to a little bit better. One of the things
Okay.
I want us to talk about is because both of us, we are on this journey of helping women to really heal and become whole. And each of us
Yes.
are doing it in our own way. One of the
Mhm.
things that I know about you is that in your description of who you and what you do, you say helping authors to heal. So my question
Yes.
is, if you're helping authors to heal, how are you doing that?
Mm. Well, one of the major things is actually helping them heal through writing. Even the last time I was on the show, and I had some of my authors here, and they had even stressed how they didn't even realize that things were actually still alive, until they started writing. And so during the writing process, whether you're writing a book, whether you're journaling, it allows you to these things to be brought to the forefront. And then when you can identify what it is, you're able to take it to God and say, hey, I didn't know that this existed. And I also know that things that we go through sometimes, it's like a ripple effect, or like I say, a domino effect. When you hit the domino and it goes all the way around, it's in it affects our behaviors, our relationship with people, and a lot of times we don't know or understand why we do or we act these ways. And writing helps dig up some of that stuff.
Yes,
And then,
yes,
when you identify, something, and you're able to be honest with yourself, and you're able to be honest with God and say, hey, I guess I'm still struggling with this. I need some help. And once we can identify it and we can let God know about it, then he can help us in that area, and even help us in that area. Now, some people may get a complete manifestation from God, but also God will also place people in your path, even such as yourself, for the things that you have, and you're helping women as well, with your program. So God will place people like us in many people's paths, to help along the way. And
yes,
so that's how I help. And even through the process, I'm there with a listening ear. I pray. I don't judge. And a lot of the people that are in the projects are in the fivefold ministry. And so what I do is just basically provide that safe space, because sometimes fivefold ministry leaders, sometimes they get a little embarrassed that they have to still struggle with a hurt or a pain. And a
yes.
lot of times they go say, oh, I'm so sorry, that I'm crying. Don't be sorry.
Mhm.
There's a spiritual and a natural side. So
Come
we
on.
have to be healthy on both ends,
Yes,
healthy in the natural and spiritual. But sometimes we have to deal with the natural stuff so that we can be healthy in the spiritual things.
yes,
So, and that's what I am. I'm a safe space this, with that they are able to, and when sharing their stories, sometimes I'll say, okay, well, maybe we'll scale back on this part. And that's part of what I do too. I have to have discernment and sometimes help others have discernment on, maybe what to go into, maybe what not to go
Not to go
into,
into, yes,
because right,
yes,
because it's still about protecting. It's still
yes.
about protecting, what
But
you're
the
helping
main
as
thing
well.
is you really help them through
Hmm.
writing it out. So,
Hmm.
because when you write something out, two things happen. You see it and you feel it. And so that's why I love writing and I love to
Hmm.
take people through that process. Hi, Coach Pamela. Good evening. Good evening. I see you there, Angela. I see you, Sunshine. Good evening. Good evening to
Oh, my
you, Pastor
sunshine.
Lisa. Good evening. She is actually going to be my next guest because I'm doing a double show tonight. And so after our show tonight, Keisha Sunshine Pace will be on next because I'm doing a double show tonight. God just
Mhm.
impressed that on me. So I'm just so excited about doing this. I try
Yes.
to do it at least twice a year, double show, but it takes too much energy to do it often, and I
Okay.
won't be
Yeah.
doing it often. But this is the beginning of the year, and God is
Mhm.
telling me begin strong with whatever you do. And so this was a part of beginning strong. So I see
Yes.
you all. I see you all. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat. Remember, we are on YouTube tonight as well. We're not on IG tonight. I got to get that going. So if any of you are not following me on IG, please go and do that tonight. It will help. Listen, the next thing that I really want to talk to you about in relationship to all of that was um, about what led up to you writing these two books. I had all the authors on from the first book, and now we're
Mhm.
getting ready to go deeper into talking about the second volume. But just tell us what led up
Mhm.
to you actually producing and writing these books, having authors come in
Mhm.
and do this anthology with you.
It started actually in my healing journey, the brain surgery, and as explained, I wasn't even fully healed yet before God said, "Get the project together." And because I knew that I was a living testimony, but I knew that I wasn't alone in being a living testimony. And I was just so grateful to God for what He did and how He spared my life. Um, and even in that, I even got a little whooping from God. And because everybody know I'm pretty shy, and I don't like to be in the forefront. I love to be everybody's cheerleader. So, and God got on me and He took me to the book of Ezekiel, and he basically told me about my calling as a prophet, and pretty much said, next time don't let me have to second guess why I'm going to save you. And then he started talking to me about the people, and he said that there are too many people that were like me. Even a lot of people who are even actually going to the grave with gifts and talents in them
Oh my
that
goodness.
needed to be activated.
Oh my goodness.
And
That is
and
our friend Miles Monroe who opened up my eyes on that years ago when he said that if you
Mhm.
go by the graveyard and look in, there's so many gifts, so many
Yeah.
talents that people have taken into
Mhm.
that graveyard with them. Don't let
Yes.
it be you.
Don't let it be you, because it could have been me if God didn't spare
Right.
me. Even with being ordained in the office of the prophet, still I didn't want to speak. And if he had not spared me, I would have been in that statistic. So there are others who have a lot of gifts and talents, who have stories, and who have things. Everybody may not want to speak on the pulpit, but there's still something inside of you that you can still testify the goodness of God. And so that's when he said, get the project together. And that's where I Am a Living Testimony came about.
Amen.
And even while I was still healing, I was still walking on a walker, still on using a cane when I put together this project. And so now, for book two, for volume two, and I say, hey God, until you tell me to stop, I'm gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna keep rolling because, and how I saw the importance also as well, that there are two women, well, maybe three, um, that were in the last volume and that were actually in their 70s, and one may actually be almost in her 80s.
Ooh, well,
And they had
I'm
never.
the 70-year-old
Mm,
lady, so
no way!
I am 70, and I appreciate
Wow.
that. Hi, Apostle Kishmer.
Yeah.
Thank you for jumping on. Hi, Yvette, all the way from Tortola, British Virgin Islands. Thank you so much. Or maybe you might be in
Yes.
England right now. You jump around, so I'm not sure where you are. But thank you all so much for joining us. You said something that I wanted to just go back to. Every person that has a calling or an anointing on their life is not meant for the pulpit. And we've got to recognize and realize that. And when we do, and we start to operate in those places in which we're called, we will see that it won't be so hard and so difficult. I'm going to tell you, the other night, the Holy Spirit woke me up and said to me, there, I am sending some pastors back to the pews. I said, huh? He said, I'm sending some pastors back to the pews because everybody that's out there behind the pulpit preaching do not belong there. And so when we can write, when we can be authors, that is our ministry. And we have to
Yes, sir.
realize that and accept that. Apostle Keisha George is on here. She was the first person that really had me. I did, I think she gave me 45 minutes with her. And I did my first
Mm,
digital project because of her. I
mm,
did not know that I could do a digital product. And we've got to understand that
mm,
there's different things for different people. I had done an ontology before, but I never thought about doing a digital project. And that one digital project that I did launched me into a whole different place as an author
mm,
as well as a publisher. And so we've got
mhm.
to understand that we've got to do and be in place and in position to function where we are assigned. And when we do that, this is what happens.
Mhm.
So I really appreciate that this book came out of your own process of going through
Yes.
that brain trauma. But look at you now. I know because
Yes.
I work with you on several different things and I'm around
Mhm.
you. I know your struggle. I know that
Yeah.
there's still struggle and I pray for
Mhm.
you. But
Yes.
God used that to birth
Yes.
what
Yes.
is coming right now. So with that said, let's go here. Let's go in here. The first volume was just I am a living testimony.
Yes.
This volume is I'm a living testimony, the Red
Mhm.
Sea edition. Tell us about that.
The Red Sea experience.
Yeah.
I heard it even before I even really fully understood. God said, God said the Red Sea experience. And I said, the Red Sea experience. I had to go back to the Bible and read a little bit more about Moses and the Red Sea,
Uh-huh.
and because the first volume, it was more so focused, and I didn't intend it to be that way, but it seemed like it kind of basically said, I'm still here by the grace of God,
Mm-hmm.
but this volume, I kind of want to focus on what was the go through to get to.
Mm.
What is your Red Sea experience? And there was so much battle from even before they crossed the Red Sea, going through the Red Sea, even to the other side. And so understanding that our processes have so many different phases, and even at the beginning, when we're going through something and it looks dim, and you're just asking God to deliver you and free you, and God says He's going to do it. but you're wondering when, how. It doesn't it doesn't
Look
look
like,
like
yes,
anything is
yes,
happening. And
yes.
could you even imagine when they even got to the sea? Could you imagine how they probably was looking at Moses like, are you crazy? So you brought us from there just to die in the water, you
Yeah,
know?
yes,
But all the while, God still has a plan and a purpose. But
yes.
you just have to trust him even to that very last moment when it looks like nothing is going to happen. And then when he parts the Red Sea, but could you even imagine the people even going through the sea and the water is separated, and you're probably scared. You're probably thinking, I'm gonna cross this thing and the water just gonna swallow us up, you know. And so even in that, how you have to trust God, even when it looks like the way of escape that he may looks crazy.
Come on.
And all the way through. So, I want to focus on, what was your process? How did you go through? Because somebody needs to hear. And like I said, we focus on the testimony the first time. Some people were descriptive, some people were not, but those who are not scared who are not afraid to let people know without telling too much. I'm still protective over your
Exactly.
details,
Yes.
but some people want to know how did you trust God? What it looked like to trust God? I'm in this situation and it doesn't look like I'm ever going to come out. So that's what I want people to see, and what I want to relay more in
Yeah.
this version.
Okay. Well, that's a good segue into this next question. What is the difference from the first book to this volume?
Mhm. Yeah.
What makes it
Yeah,
different?
the first volume, I just wanted people to tell a testimony.
Okay.
That was it. I just wanted people to just tell about God's goodness. And that was it for me. But this time I said, this time around we need to do it different. And I asked God, and then that's where he gave me the Red Sea. So this will have a direction. So kind of, a more of a direction, so we can give people just a
More.
little bit more ministry, a little bit
Okay.
more
Okay.
ministry. Yes,
Okay.
yes. And go and tell more about the process, and still at the end we're going to always give God the glory of how he brought us through it.
Amen. Yes, he deserves it. So, in your first volume, there were men that wrote in this
Yes.
book. That excited me. Are there men again in this version that you're doing in
You
volume two?
you know what? I just started the sign up process. So
Okay.
men, you are welcome. we,
Okay.
we we love to hear from the men. The women are the first ones to jump up. I
Uh-huh.
mean, but if I could get more men, I was grateful for the men that I did have. And a lot of them jumped on at the last minute first version. But I would love to hear more from the men, because we need to hear
From the
from
men.
the men.
That's so
Yes.
interesting because I had an epiphany about um a month ago when I did one of my tours. There were men that were actually serving us, and they kept sneaking in to hear what I was saying. And at the end, I was like, wow. One of the women walked up to me and she said, my husband needs this. And he called me a week later and said, I need to take your class. And what happened from
Mm.
that was I took all weekend last week and rewrote my book, Healing from Emotional Enemies, to focus on men. And I'm going to include
Mm.
men. I have been fighting it for a while. I'm like, I don't coach men. I don't, but
Mm.
I am going to do what is called a hybrid type of
Okay.
coaching, because I hear God. And right now, he's on his second session with me, and he's like, I didn't know how much I needed this. And so I want men to be involved. Listen, this is in this space, and you all are hearing this woman of God. If you're a woman and you know a man that may want to be a part of her book, I am a living testimony, the Red Sea edition, DM her. Let them know that she's looking for men to be a part of this volume that she's bringing in. Men go through things as well, and they need our help as well. Let's see what's happening over in the chat. I see you. Hi, Dawn. How you doing? She says men needs healing too. Listen,
Yes.
I have one of my long-term friends from the Virgin Islands that just tuned in. Former Senator James A. O'Brien, thank you for coming in and sitting with me tonight. I so appreciate you. Yes, Apostle Kishma, you're in Delaware. That's right. Blessings from Delaware. I really, really appreciate that you're taking the time to just check in. Coach Pam, I see you. See you, Pastor Lisa. God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming in and sitting here with me today. Just
Yes.
remember
Thank you.
that tonight is a double header. I have one more show tonight after this with my good girlfriend, Keisha Sunshine Pace. So tune in. As a matter of fact,
Yes.
Keisha was one of the authors in your first
Yes.
volume of your book, and that's how I kind of met her when we were
Hmm.
doing some things together. So I am just blessing God for that. Listen,
Yes.
um, where I want to go with you now is this place because you have had a um entrepreneur journey that have
Yes.
taken you to this place that you are in. I know
Yes.
that right now this is tax season, and the one thing that I know about you as an entrepreneur is that you are
Hmm.
tax preparer. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes. I'm a
Yes.
tax preparer.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, what we have to learn to understand is that there are 7 streams of income
Yes.
that is awaiting us. And when we can tap in to those 7 streams of income and know that those are the 7 streams, we don't have to be all over the place. And guess what? The biggest thing
Hmm.
is we don't have to be broke. You don't have to
Exactly.
be all over the place doing everything, but because what you do is you make each thing blend in to each other. As a vision coach, I have people that come to me with 20 different things in their minds, and I make them
Hmm.
break it down. Listen, my goal is always to get you to 7. I'm a
Yeah.
numbers girl. Uh, Let me get you to 7 things that you can
7.
concentrate
Hmm.
on because 7 means completion. It means
Yes.
perfection. So if we can sit here, I'm not letting you go all over the place at 21 different things because you're going to be scatterbrained with all of that. So let's zero
Hmm.
into 7. There's 7 days of the week. It's a
Yes.
strategy that I use, and we concentrate on that. So tell us now about
Hmm.
that one stream of income that you've created on your entrepreneur journey of being a tax preparer.
Actually, is being a tax preparer. I was working on it before the brain surgery, and so I recently, this will be my first year actually as a tax preparer, but
Mm.
I don't do. I try. I say I'll put it this way. I try not to do everything where I am all over the place because books publishing is my thing. But where I wanted to get into being a tax preparer is because I want to be able to expand that in my um I guess you could say in my arena for my authors.
That's what I'm talking about. They
Yeah,
have to blend
yeah.
into what
It
you're
has to
doing.
blend in.
It can't be just sitting
Exactly.
on the side out there with no meaning to it.
Hmm.
Hi, Ruben. Thank you for joining us this evening. You
Oh,
have
that's my
to make
husband.
sure.
Hey, babe.
Oh, that's your husband. Hi, husband.
Yes.
And so we've got to make sure that there's a balance in what we're doing and bringing things
Yes.
together that work together in harmony, that it's not all
Hmm.
over the place. So that's why I wanted you to bring that up because I know that you're doing it so that it blends
Hmm.
in to helping your
Yes.
authors. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. Because I'm a firm believer. At first when I started just publishing, it was just publishing, books, authors, publishing. But as time has gone on and you evolve and you grow, you understand the importance of when you're taking your craft seriously, and you know how. how you're saying a book has the potential to create multiple streams of income. Being an author has a, but then also as being an author, you're becoming a brand. And when you are a brand, now we need to also make sure as a brand, do we have everything on the back end straight?
Come on.
You know, do you just want to continue just to be an author? Do you want to become an LLC? Do you want to become, you know, so you know, so you know those things. Do we have our books? Because a lot of us we just do shows, we order our books, we go out there. But hey, but we need to have all this stuff. We could actually be leaving money on the table, you know, and we could be reporting
Randomly
these things
doing stuff.
itemized. Right, exactly. And so I don't see very many people in the author industry. I'm not saying that they don't get it, but I don't see anything that in my eye on the forefront that's also saying, hey, authors, let's take this another step further, and let's make sure that our books are straight. Let's make sure we have our receipts. You know, this is our business. You know, we're not just, you know, for those of us where this is, you know, we're not doing it as a hobby. You know, so this is a business. This is now your brand, and so everything needs to be structured accordingly. So this is where I've taken up the taxes, because I want to make sure, you know, at least my people are good. You know, I can lead and I can guide in more area than one to make sure that they're good.
This is so good because this is something. I was in the beauty industry for 22 years, and
Mhm.
I serviced beauty salons. And the
Mhm.
one thing that, oh my goodness, let me calm down. Beauticians a long time ago had no idea of how much money they made, had no idea of how they spent it, because they made
Mhm.
what money they made that day, they went to the mall. Until the real professionals started to come in and say, come on, is this a
Mhm.
business or is it a hobby? Let's treat this
Yes.
as a profession. Let's treat it as a business. And so much have
Mhm.
evolved and so much have changed in the beauty industry
Yes.
when they started to see it as what it was supposed to be. And
To
so
be.
that's why I wanted to ask that question, because I knew that you were going to
Mhm.
say it ties in. It ties into
Yes.
your responsibility with paying your taxes. It ties in with knowing how much money you make. Every month, I have a goal. I know what
Yes.
it is I'm
Yes.
trying. I don't always make the goal, but
Right.
I know I have a tax preparer that helps me with my taxes. You've got to make sure that you're treating this thing as a business. Let's just
Yes.
go back to this place. As a publisher, I just started publishing my other people's stuff. I was only publishing my stuff before, but the last 2 years I started publishing other people's stuff. I started to do it to honor my mom and dad that passed away, because my mom always encouraged me to be whoever I believed that I could be. So I wanted to honor
Okay.
them with my publishing company, and I took both their names. My mom's name is Carmen, my dad's name is Lionel, and I put it together, and it's called Calm Lion Publishing Company.
Okay.
When I
I
started the
like that.
publishing company, I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to honor them. I knew I was publishing my own books. And
Mhm.
so I did not realize, number one, that I needed to protect the name. I mean, because I
Mhm.
figured, oh, this is my mom and my dad's name, protect the name. When you start to look at what it is you want to accomplish and how you're going to
Mhm.
move forward in accomplishing, you have to go deep and dig up things that you'll never think of. I just had to go copyright a couple of things, and I had to go
Mhm.
trademark this one brand of something that I've been working on for 2 years and have not released it because I know I'm not ready. And so
Mhm.
when you are looking at your publishing company, that's where the name Young comes from. Young at Heart
Mm,
Publishing
yeah.
Company. The bell just went off. Ding dong.
Yeah.
Young at Heart. Publishing Company. Hi,
Yes.
Apostle Veronica. It's good to see you. Thank you for jumping on here with us this evening. My guest tonight is my book coach, Prophetess Simone Young. And we are really just having a general conversation in this
Mm-hmm.
melting pot of, in the Virgin Islands, we call it kalaloo. You all call it
Hallelujah.
you all call it gumbo. This pot of gumbo where everything
Yes.
is thrown into it, but what comes out of it, the flavor and the taste and everything of
Yes.
what you're doing. So in your publishing company, as you start to publish and you start to help people, I keep calling you my book coach. So what is a book coach?
A book coach is someone that can direct you and help you put your book together. Um, and in some aspects, it can kind of go into the publishing arena, but I make sure that everything about your book looks good, from the cover to your formatting to how it's laid out, even going into publishing. What publishing platform would
Platforms.
you like to
Yes.
go to, because that's very important to know what platform you're going to use, because also goes with your formatting, because you don't want it formatted for one platform and then you decide to use something else and then they say no, we don't take it. So there's a lot. So I help you put together your book, and that's what a book coach does. And then we start, other arenas go into writing, and how you want your writing and whatnot done. But for the book coaching, and if I'm publishing, helping you just get together your book, I'm making sure you have your ISBN numbers. Do you know what ISBN number? Do you know
Was
what a
all
paid
what it,
ISBN
yeah,
number? Free one,
exactly.
you know,
Yes.
and so all aspects of your book, the decisions that you need to make with your book to make sure that you're making a well-informed decision on how you want your book to look. Do you know what size, and how many pages, and so we go through all of that to make sure that you have a well put together product to be able to be released, because you can write it, but if you don't know what to do after writing, then
Mm. Whoop,
and if you don't have the proper guidance, then you're kind of stuck and you're all over the place after that
come on now.
process.
Apostle Veronica Moore.
Mhm.
And
Hi,
listen,
Apostle.
when I am telling you that my book coach is a book coach, she's a book coach. Um, Recently, she really walked me through something that proved to me that she is a book coach and she knows what she's doing. And so, listen
Yes.
to each and every one of you out there. If you need to get your book written, I recommend her very highly.
Oh,
If you need
thank
to make
you.
sure your book is on the right platforms, I recommend her very highly. I am speaking from experience. She's going to walk you
Mhm.
through it. She's going to take you through it. She's going to tell you what to and what not, and how you should and how you should not. I have visions for books. I can help you write your book. I can help you publish your book. But guess what? I don't go into all the details that she goes into. And so I recommend her very highly if you want someone that's going to help you write the book from start to finish, to publish, to upload. This is the person that you should speak to. Um,
Wow, thank
uh,
you.
oh, yeah, I'm not just saying this. So I just want to go back a little bit before we get ready to wrap up this segment. I want to
Okay.
go back to why we really started this conversation tonight on
Okay.
I Am a Living Testimony, Volume 2.
Hmm. Hmm.
Some people need to understand that their testimony is not for them, that their testimony is for that person that's going to either hear it or read it. And so when
Yes.
we are doing a book like I Am a Living Testimony, you actually had about 30 authors.
Yes. Yes. A
I
total of
applaud you.
37 testimonies. Yes.
Okay. I think the most I've ever had is around 15 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the work that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
But 30 authors, because I do proofreading, and then I have my other person do proofreading as well as formatting, as well as whatever. And I'm telling you, when people are asked, and I'm going here with this, when people are asked to invest in themselves into a project,
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand what it takes. Even coming and sitting on a show like this, people don't understand what it takes to produce this show. They think we just turn this on and we come on here and we sit
Yeah.
and we talk. They have no idea. So what I want to ask you right now is this: when people are understanding I am coming to give my testimony, but I need to invest in myself in order to do that, so that the best of this book can come to pass. When you're doing 30 authors, so this was my whole question. I know I went all around the bush. How many authors are you thinking of for this particular book?
For this particular book, I'm looking for the same number.
30. Okay.
Yes, I'm looking for the same number. You know, when I was doing the process, I'm not doing 30 authors again. It's too much. But you know what? When I look back at it, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, it is, I mean, the reward once it's all done, and it's a lot. And then I don't just if I can say this, with this project, you know, most anthologies, you're published on one platform,
Mhm. Right.
and then when you get your books, you have to go through that person in order to order your books majority of the time.
Yes.
Not only did I have 37 testimonies in one book, I published that book 37 times.
Ooh. Okay. I see what you did. You gave each person their own.
I gave each person, each cover has their name, their
Yes.
individual name on the front and
Yes.
their individual name on the back
Yes.
with this project. So it was like I published a full book for each individual
Person.
person.
Wow.
So that was, I mean, I think, you know, I probably, yeah, if my hair was on, you know, so, but I'm looking to do that again. But you know what? The joy and the smiles of the faces of the people, the thank yous that I get still after the project. And I say, Lord, okay, whatever your will, whatever number, I'm going to say 30, but if God only allows me to pour into 15, I'll pour into the 15. If God gives me 30, now I don't want to go to 40. I don't want to do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But stay at that 30 number. I know I can do it. And you know, so however, you know, whoever jumps on this project and is not scared to invest in themselves, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and because I do the work. So, you
Yes.
know, it's like your investment is well spent and you get your own individualized published book.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, people are really coming, the people you know are coming for your story.
Exactly. And what
And
people,
everybody else's story is a bonus.
yes, what people don't realize is this book goes with them for years and years. You
Mhm,
have events, you have book signings, you have shows,
mhm,
whatever it is that you do, you can take it with you. So when we ask you to invest in yourself, think about the future and not just about what it is you think that you have to invest. Listen, if you need to go use Afterpay Klarna or something to get it
mhm,
done, go do it and get it done. Okay. Listen,
mhm,
I
mhm.
know because right now I'm getting ready to do my first magazine and I need 30
Yes.
people because I'm doing it differently. I am doing a 30-day rollout, one person each
Mhm,
day. And so it's like such enjoyment because it's what I love doing. And my
mhm,
coach, my glam coach for 3 years has been trying to get me to do this magazine cover, and I refused because when I looked at,
Wow.
you've got to do a different cover for each person. I was like, I'm not doing it. But she would not let me get away with it at the end of the year. So I committed to it. So now I'm doing it because it's a lot of work and people just don't understand what goes into it. Your husband says, you are a beast. He used the word beast
Yeah.
when it comes to books. And that when you can get your husband to be behind you in a project that you're doing
Mhm.
and can say something like that, we know that you're
Mhm.
doing a good job. So as we
Mhm.
get ready to wrap up tonight, I want to say thank you so much for coming and being here with me tonight. And before you leave, I
Thank
want you
you.
to just tell them about one more segment of your 7 streams that you work on, and that was is tell us about your radio show Unmuted.
Yes, I just started my first show, Unmuted Frequency Shift. And that basically came because in this season I'm being unmuted, and the voice, all of our voices has a frequency. And what comes out of our mouth shifts. It shifts the spiritual realm, it shifts nations, it even shifts hell.
Mm,
So that's where a muted frequency shift comes from. And so in this season is just just kind of like, as your girl, as I'm learning to unmute myself, there I know there's others who need to be unmuted as well. And so it's just a show of encouragement. And in this year in 2026, let's not our voices be muted. Let's open our mouths and cause our lives to shift, other people's lives
yes.
to shift, the
Hallelujah.
nations to shift, the atmosphere to shift, your home to
Yes.
shift. So
Come
that's
on.
what this is all about, is unmuting ourselves.
Muted.
And the show airs actually tonight. You can actually go to my webpage, I am drsimone.com. That's SIMONE. And the station is on my website. And if you want to join the anthology, you can go on there, and it'll get you to the anthology as well. And it's at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and
Mhm.
6 o'clock uh, Pacific Standard Time, where my show will be
Awesome.
on.
Awesome. That
Mhm.
is so good. Listen, as we have approached, not approached, but as we are in this year of 2026 right now, it's what, 50, it slipped my mind on the Jewish calendar. It's
Mhm.
5786, I think it is.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mine, it slipped my mind for a moment. As we are moving through this space and this place, and God is speaking to us, and He's saying certain things to us about what's happening and what's going on. The first thing, as I told, we were talking backstage, the first thing is that I heard Him say to me, I do not want you to fast as others are. And I'm like, huh? I don't want you to go into that 21-day fast, that 7-day fast, that's everything. This is the year, um, and he calls me little girl. This is the year, little girl, that you get some things right with me. And I'm like, I thought I was right with you. And he says, I need to talk to you. And this is how I want you to fast. And I said, okay, God. And then I think it was right after that, the next day, he said, this year, I want you to focus on, how we decide a word. People say that this is a word that God gave. He gave me the word surge. And so I looked it up, and all the
Mm.
things that surged meant to really go to this expanded place, to increase, to do these different things but how do you do it? But by first starting your year off, giving it back to Him. That's what He told me. Give your year back to me so I can move you forward this year. Is God saying
Mm.
anything to you?
Wow. Mm. The only thing that I know that God has basically, and really the show, the unmute, is
Mm,
pretty much what He's been telling me
yeah.
for this year. Um, just it's time out to be in the back, and because there's too many souls out there. And what God has been dealing with me, he's been dealing with me with this since actually the surgery. But this year, God has really been turning up the heat. But what it basically is there's too many lives out there, too many people that are assigned to us, that if we're not on our job, those souls are lost. And so until we open up our mouths and position ourselves the way that we need to be positioned in this year, and that's why I love about what God told you about your fast.
Yes.
When
Yes.
when you said that, because you have to get clear instructions from
Mhm.
God for in this season what he's trying to do and where he's trying to take you. So it's very imperative in this year that we position ourselves correctly with God this year, so that
Yes.
we can reap what it is that he has for us, and also be in position to grab those souls because of the things that are getting ready to come up on the earth. We have to be positioned. And if
Yes.
you're not positioned and you're just here in the way, he'll move you out of the way.
Come on now.
So I
Mm.
don't want to be, I don't want to be moved out of the way. I
Mhm.
want to be, I like to shift. I don't want to be moved.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
don't move
Yes.
me. I'll go
Yes.
myself. So yeah, so this is the year of obedience, basically.
For you, obedience. Yes, I got distracted a minute because I saw your mom on here. So yeah, your
Mm-hmm.
mom was on here and I saw her name. And so I got a little distracted because your mom is
Hmm.
one of your biggest supporters and you are one of
Hmm.
hers. And that's how I met the two of you all kind of together and everything. I met her
Yes.
first. She came on my show
Yes.
first and then I met you. And so
Hmm.
listen, as we move forward, woman of God, I just want to say to you that God told you to take flight. And as you take flight, He is going to spread your wings so wide.
Amen.
And it's going to be a stretch because He's going to take you to some unusual things that you do not think that you're capable of doing. But God says to
Mm.
let you know that what happened to you and what happened to your brain, that
Yes, God.
it happened because he needed your attention, your full attention. And now that he has your full attention, he can do fully with you, and he is transporting you as you take
Amen.
flight. And so God
Amen.
wants you to know tonight that this new place, your
Mm.
new show, as he's unmuting your mouth, that there will be those that will try to shut it down. But he
Yes.
is saying to you, I have given you permission to take off. Spread your
Jesus. Thank
wings,
you, Lord.
take flight, and let's do
Mm.
this together, says God.
Amen.
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 And so thank you
Amen.
so much, Prophet, for coming on the show
Yes.
tonight. And to all of you that tuned in, thank you so very much. Don't forget, tonight is a double header. I will be back. It will be at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, and it will be at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So come back as my other guest, Keisha Sunshine Pace, comes on and
Sunshine.
talk to me about her project. So, Prophetess, thanks again for coming on,
Thank you.
and we will be talking to each other real soon. God bless you.
Amen. God bless you.
Listen, in this space, anything can happen and anyone can show up. We just never know what God is going to do. And this year, we are not going to muzzle God on what He is doing with us in this space. So, again, I am Apostle Dr. Alicia George. I am your host. I'm here every Friday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, just DM me. Let's talk. Let's see if it's your time, if you are ready. And I will be so excited to open up my arms and welcome you to In This Space. So until next show, I was going to say next Friday, but until the next show, I'm going to say what I always say before I close my show. As my cousin Lorraine always says. Have a great day today and a better one tomorrow. God bless you.